Good evening, Facebook land. Welcome, friends and neighbors, to my Facebook Live page tonight. Baxter here with you. Baxter Cribs, ELL. I do it every time. EII. I don't even know my own company name. Enduring Investments Incorporated, basically, is what that stands for. And that's because I like to work with products and people and things that have an enduring life to it. And so therefore it is a very good investment in doing that. And so therefore enduring investments, and of course the incorporated just simply means that it's registered with the state of Georgia. And so anyway, welcome this evening, my friends. I hope you had a great day out there today. It was a very beautiful day in my area. Sun temperature somewhere around 85. I mean, it was just perfect for air conditioning. But anyway, it really was. And even tonight I went down and met with some of the people at the congregation. We studied for about an hour and left from there, went by the grocery store where the ladies asked me when I came to the counter, did I get a senior discount? And I said, yes ma'am, I've worked all my life to get to that point. And it ended up being about 5 cents she took off because I just bought a couple of cans of beans and some yams, and I was just fine there. Anyway, it was just kind of fun. The people down there are really good people, and I like to go and talk with them and visit with them and listen to, you know, the things of their day as well. But I hope you've had a good day. Review some good things, learn some things from it, apply it to tomorrow, have a better day tomorrow. This evening, my friends, I want to continue just a little bit. As in last night, I started talking about what are superfoods. You know, because you hear a lot of that today out there. This superfood here, this superfood over there. And in my understanding and researching and looking at the stuff here that I'm involved with, I have come to the conclusion that superfoods, or a superfood, is not one food by itself. No more than you can have a super muscle in your body. You know, you have some that, you know, like if your heart is a major muscle in your body, if it quits, you really have some serious issues. And so, but the body is a whole thing, is a unit in itself. And so the same way I approach the superfoods is that you have some main ingredients that help out or do more functions than others do. And I went over some of that. But superfoods combined, it's like people, if you go to the doctor, and ladies do this a lot, that you feel really tired and sluggish, and they say, well, come in here, give me $15 and I'll give you a B12 shot, and that'll pump you up for a day or so. And that is simply one part of a whole synergistic vitamin complex. And so I always tell people, go down and buy you a bottle of the B complex vitamins and the 100 gram or 125s, and take that, because now you have all of those B vitamins in there. Your B vitamins are water soluble. What it doesn't use, your body will wash out, but you will have enough to supply that to your body. And I always suggest that you take it twice a day. Some people need to take them in the morning and at dinner time, and I'm saying dinner in the middle of the day, and Southern for lunch, I reckon, or, you know, and then some people take them at night. I happen to take mine in the morning and at nighttime, and many people can't take it at night because of the change it does to the body. By taking that one whole thing, it keeps many people awake, so they're better off to take it during the middle of the day, and that way your body is replenished and re-energizes, your metabolism is working great, and you end up being more alive, rather than go pay $15 for one shot that only lasts a day, and you're only getting 1/15, you know, if you will. If there's 15 B vitamins and you're only getting one of them, then you're really throwing money out the window. So, same conclusion, just a little comparison there. Superfoods, to me, are the same way. You got to put stuff together to make it work better for the body. So this evening I want to continue on with this, as I was learning some of this stuff that, you know, in this idea. And so you can see here I have here on the board pre-workout superfoods, or a superfood if you want to make it as a single when you put all the ones together. Now tonight I'm not going to go over all of them. There's actually 3 of them that go together. And when I say pre-workout, in other words, many times there are companies that do make things that if you take this or drink that 30 minutes before you get ready to work out or an hour before you get ready to work out, then you are boosted up. Your energy level is high. You have the energy in your muscle cells to be able to sustain a vigorous 45-minute to an hour workout. That's the idea. And then when you get through with that, then there is what they call a post-workout superfood or foods, which then feed the muscle back that you've just burned up so it repairs quicker and repairs correctly by giving it nutrients immediately, which is the best time to give it because of the uptake of the body at that time while those muscles are in that condition. And so these are 2 things. But like I said, and so it'll be 4 total, okay? But I'm only going to cover 1 tonight. We'll cover the rest of them tomorrow night. I'll add to this because I made this like part 1, okay? And so the first one I want to talk about this evening that you could take is a beet root powder extract. In other words, a beetroot powder. That I say extract because when you get this in a dehydrated form, you've basically extracted all the water out of it, and you've made it in this condition here. When you get ready to drink this, you then put the water back in it. Voila, you have a drink that is ready to go in your body and to help you out. Now, I want to put these 2 things together here as a single superfood in itself tonight and talk about these a little bit. The beetroot powder and also pomegranate, yes, the pomegranate that you can find in the stores, that also making that into a powder form, dehydrating it, putting the 2 together, both of them do a very similar thing. That's what makes them work in a synergistic way to be able to feed the muscles what they need to get them primed and pumped and ready. And the reason that these things do it, the main thing that they do is both of these right here help produce or do produce nitric oxide for your body. Nitric oxide helps to make your blood vessels, we talked about this before one time not too long ago, but nitric oxide helps to make your blood vessels bigger, okay? And then when you got bigger blood vessels, then you have more blood, more volume of blood. When you have more volume of blood, then you have more oxygen going to your cells. When you have more oxygen and more volume of blood, you also have more of the micronutrients that you need going to the cells wherever you're going throughout your whole body. Because as we know, if your heart's pumping, then it's pumping blood through the whole body, all the way to your fingertips, to your toes, and back up. And when you're in a more senior stage, shall we say, then many times we find the conditions that your heart has a hard time pumping the blood back up from your feet, and you end up sitting down and lifting your feet up. When you have nitric oxide in there, then this helps to make your vessels bigger, therefore being able to pump better, so creating vascular health and integrity in that process is what it's doing, because it's actually feeding the cells and the heart better, because we know it goes out, it's got to come back in. So that's the idea behind that, and that's just one of the main things it does. The next thing it does is it here helps to create muscle mass. Why is that? Because, as I just stated, you have blood flow. Blood flow going to the muscles when you're working it out causes that muscle to swell up, because it's being pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped, full of blood. And that's what they talk about, feeling the pump. You pump that thing up, that muscle up while you're working on it, whatever you might be doing. Now, some of us might not feel that. In other words, if you're a runner, you're not going to feel the pump in the muscles. You're going to feel the pump in the blood flowing throughout the whole body as you're going, and you reach what they call the runner's high a little better, a little sooner, and depends on what kind of running you're doing as well. If I personally do not do jogging. If I'm going to do anything in running fashion, I would do sprints, because that creates more muscle. It is a high impact, short burst of speed, walk a little bit, short burst of speed, and then not too much because of the impact on the joints. And so I think my personal opinion is that the older I get, the less of that I need to do. And therefore, that's why I prefer circuit training, because you're keeping the blood flowing throughout the body. You're also able to exercise each muscle individually, but yet together with the muscle, because you're doing full body motions, and therefore making it easier on the joints and no less problems that you have. So anyway, back to my thing here. I digress some. It creates the muscle mass because of these things here, the nitric oxide, which is very important. I even remember reading several years ago, one doctor said that if you was to take and get the proper nitric oxide you needed every day, you most likely would never have a heart attack, because of you got blood flow going on there. So anyway, that's what that's for there. Now, to make this even a greater superfood here, okay, you got these two put together, which creates this. Now, you're doing a pre-workout, so keep in mind you're trying to get the body ready for energy to go through that 30 to 45, maybe even an hour. I would not suggest you do any longer than that. You don't need to do any longer than that if you have your intensity high enough. So if you add to that, here's a few herbs to mix with this, and I didn't write them down because of space. That if you use a yerba mate leaf, a maca leaf, that's M-A-C-A, maca, and then coffee berry and whole coffee berry extract. Put those things together. That helps you to have some sustained natural energy without jitters, okay, because it is a food, not a processed something where you're pulling these things out. You know, if you get a lot of caffeine in yourself in the forms that's offered to you today, and many times you will get the jitters. I mean, you can literally buy stuff over the counter and it says on there 200 milligrams of caffeine, you know, and you take that. If you're not used to caffeine, my friends, you will be so jittery and so hyper, you know, and you'll be so you don't want to do that. You want something that's going to be sustained and naturally and dissolves slowly into the body, being a whole food. And so, you know, your medicine should be your food, and your food should be your medicine. And that's the idea. And that's the reasons for that, because you will then have, with the nitric oxide and the stuff digesting all at the same time as one superfood, go into the body, go into the heart, go into the mind, all together, you will have the sustained energy and the blood flow that you need to carry your body through those things. Then, if you could mix that with coconut water, because we know coconut oil is very good for you. Coconut water, they're proving, is very good for you as well. Does a lot of things, and I don't really want to get into those things, but it is a pure form of water rather than treated water. Water you don't know where it comes from. Put you some coconut water in there to hydrate the body really good before you start your workout. You always want to be hydrated, because, you know, if you start to get thirsty, you've waited too long to drink water, okay? Always remember that. I've worked outside all my life, and fortunately, knock on wood, I have never gotten sick or dehydrated, because I've always learned when to drink water and to keep some fluid there, know when to stop and cool down, find a pace and stay with it, and especially if you're outside on the track. So, to do that, and what this does now, this here, coconut water also helps you to regulate your blood sugar. That's what it does. That's one of the benefits of it. Other than hydration, your blood sugar. You know, if you get sugar while you're working out, that's a bad thing. You don't really want to have your sugar bouncing everywhere. So it helps to level that out. And then in that, more superfoods, all these together, one little thing here. You can put you some Panax ginseng, some Siberian ginseng, which is really not a ginseng. Actually, it is a ginseng-like plant that produces some of the same properties, but is very, very effective for endurance. Okay, and so carrying on. So, and then there's some cordyceps mushrooms, and all three of these together, with this being able to be transported by this, helps you to create this. And so, therefore, all those things together make a superfood, or the super, you know, because they're a group of things. Now, that's, if you could just get that in one bottle, that would be powerful. But there's two more items. to go with that, that would make it even more powerful. We're not going to talk about those tonight. We want to end here this evening. I want you to look at those things there, consider those things, because as we talk about this here beetroot has been proven over and over and over, along with the pomegranate, to create the right nitric oxide in your body, and it's just perfect. I mean, it really, really helps you to be healthy, creates vascular integrity, and that's what you want to have, is sustainable energy and all those things to be healthy, not something that tears it down. So, my friends, I hope you found value in this little short session tonight of information about, if you are an athlete, you do work out with these things, this superfood could really give you a great benefit, especially whenever I continue to share with you the other things that will go with that over the next 2 nights. And you'll really want to try that out, I'm sure. Hope you found value. If you have, please share it with other people. Let them know about this. Leave a comment below. If you'd like to get in contact with me, and let's look at this product further to see if it would really be a great fit for you, I'd love to help you out to do that as well. My friends, that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.